Tonight, police launch a long weekend road blitz targeting distracted drivers, and Port Lincoln's SES crew among the best in South Australia.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, thanks for your company this Friday evening. South Australian Police are warning drivers to take extra care this long weekend. They've launched Operation Safe Long Weekend targeting distracted drivers in the wake of the state's horror road toll. Nathan Regter has more.
If you're doing something wrong behind the wheel this long weekend, you will be caught. South Australian Police will have extra patrols out in force as part of a statewide operation.
It's really simple. It's about people paying attention. It's about people making good and safe decisions on our roads.
So far this year, 53 people have lost their lives on South Australian roads, compared to 33 last year. Police say they're frustrated that the road safety message isn't getting through.
All of these deaths, in one way or another, are actually preventable. And that's the saddest part for our community.
The focus for police will be on country roads where the majority of fatalities have occurred. All available police will be on patrol, making sure everyone remains safe this long weekend.
High visibility can make people prevent the kind of behaviour that they might think about drinking and driving.
Last year was the first fatality-free June long weekend since 2004. Police desperately hoping for the same this year.
We know it is a challenge, but it's one that we know we can meet if we will play our part. So that's why this weekend we will be out in force and we will be highly visible.
Operation Safe Long Weekend runs from now till midnight on Monday. The message is clear: drive safe or get caught.
The opposition has called on the government to rule out a proposed property tax to outback areas. It says pastoralists could be hit with an increase of between $100 and $400.
For outback property owners, life on the land can be tough, but Labor says a new tax will make it tougher.
Imposing a tax of between $100 and $400 on properties in the outback.
The levy is said to be introduced to remote areas where there is no council. But Shadow Minister for Regional Development Eddie Hughes questions whether the hike will lead to an increase in services in isolated areas.
There's highly unlikely to be a direct benefit to that pastoralist or an indirect benefit because you don't live in a community.
The state government were unavailable for an interview, but in a statement said services and important infrastructure will be upgraded under the plan and that they will continue to consult with communities. A spokesperson for the Outback Communities Authority has told 7 Spencer Gulf News that this plan was only a possibility and will need around 2 more years of consultation before a decision is made. But Labor is not buying it and is calling on the government to scrap the levy.
This should be seen for what it is. It's just an incredibly mean cash grab.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Broken Hill Hospital has installed a new state-of-the-art ticketing system for its outpatient services. It comes after a number of patients were reportedly getting confused on arrival.
An upgrade that was needed.
The staff said it's working really well. They're not missing anyone because people aren't sitting down and not taking a ticket.
Broken Hill Health Service this week launched a new way for patients to check in for outpatient services. The new technology is a step up from the old process, which was leaving patients confused.
Previously, you had to go up to the window. You weren't sure which window to go to, and you had to grab just a laminated ticket and sit down.
On arrival to the outpatient area, a patient now only needs to choose the service they wish to see and take a ticket. The number on the ticket is shown on a screen in the waiting section and called out on a PA system.
There's a huge amount of traffic that comes through here on a daily basis, so it just helps with patient flow.
Patients also get a chance to provide feedback with a new machine before the exit. Miss Hustwell says the feedback from patients led to the changes.
So it's just a process of attending the health service and getting used to the process, but it seems to be going quite smoothly.
Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still in Broken Hill, and a film crew shooting around town is giving back to the community. Producers for the movies Buckley's Chance is offering one local the opportunity to visit the set as part of a fundraiser. They're raising money to support locals with traumatic brain injuries.
It'll be a great prize, but the money will go to start a pilot program for drumming for people with brain injury in the community.
Fundraising will be at the Broken Hill Outback Resort tomorrow, while they also have a GoFundMe page. The winner will be announced at the end of the month. It's all uphill in Melrose this weekend, with the town's iconic Fat Tyre Festival returning for another year. Hundreds of mountain biking enthusiasts will descend on the town for the event. The weekend is set to be packed full of food, live music and all things two-wheeled. Funds raised will be used to complete the sign and trail markers system throughout the networks. Still to come tonight, Port Lincoln's SES crew recognised as one of South Australia's best, and Wyala's Catholic school kids take part in a fun run. Welcome back. Port Lincoln's SES crew was crowned the best country unit at this year's State Rescue Challenge, the two-day event recreating real-life scenarios, with teams judged on their performance.
Pulling an injured man from the rocky coastline. This was one of 8 rescue scenarios SES crews conducted at this year's State Rescue Challenge.
The weekend was based on general rescue, so that's something that all SES members should be proficient in. So they kept it simple this year. In other years, they've done vertical rescue, road crash.
8 teams from across the region travelled to Adelaide for the biannual competition. The Port Lincoln SES branch sent 7 members and their team leader.
Pretty much over the 2 days, there was 8 different stands. So we had 4 in the northern suburbs and 4 in the southern suburbs.
The team winning 2 of the challenges, a crime scene preservation test and a scenario involving an injured person on the rocks.
Our team here worked incredibly well together, obviously showing the practice that we've had as well as our local training. It's definitely paid off.
They finished 4th overall but took out 1st place for regional units. The challengers putting their skills and knowledge to the test.
Definitely worthwhile. There's a lot we could take back to our unit to include on our weekly trainings.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Port Augusta Coast Guard says more volunteers are desperately needed to continue its service. It's holding an open day this weekend in a bid to sign up new members.
They're the first to lend a hand in times of trouble on our waters.
Most of the jobs that we do are tow-ins. Occasionally we've had to go and look for someone.
But the Port Augusta Coast Guard is facing its own problems on the shore, a lack of volunteers.
Desperately need members.
The organisation currently has 5 people it can call on.
VHF 16 calling Wyala Sea Rescue, over.
But it would like to have many more helping hands.
Some of us are getting a little bit old and we're starting to take a toll on us, doing all the work and all that.
Volunteers cover a wide area from the top of the Gulf to almost in line with Port Pirie and Wyala.
Up there, down to here.
But they say if they aren't able to attract any new members, local boaties could be left high and dry.
And could be sitting out there all day and all night, waiting for someone to come and tow them in.
The Coast Guard will be holding an open day at their Port Augusta headquarters from 10 a.m. on Saturday, giving people a splash of what it's like to help on the waters. Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Broughton's area school has installed a wellbeing tree. The mural stationed in the campus's centre courtyard incorporates leaves painted by every single student of the school. The school's wellbeing leader David Renfrey says the installation is all about giving students a closer connection with one another.
One of the ideas that we had, we wanted to create a sense of belonging. We wanted to create a sense that the kids felt like there was a part of them here when they looked around at the school.
The project runs in conjunction with a new resilience program designed to boost student morale. Port Lincoln is gearing up to host its annual Invitational Gymnastics Championship this weekend. More than 200 competitors from Wyala and Adelaide will show off their skills in the 2-day event. Meryl Davidson says it's a great opportunity to introduce young athletes to the wider gymnastic community.
This is a friendly competition and it's lots of children's first ever experience. So at entry level, it's a great fun for them to have a go.
The opening ceremony will be held tomorrow night at the Port Lincoln Gymnastics Club. Good luck to everyone competing. While as Our Lady's Help of Christians in St Teresa's Primary School held their annual fun run today. They're raising funds for their school as part of celebrations for National Catholic Education Week.
Running for a cause. These primary school students have been raising money for their school and now they're ready to celebrate.
In a fun run during Catholic Education Week. So yesterday it was held at Our Lady's campus and today at the St Teresa's campus.
Teachers say the fun run is not only about the fundraising but also educating students on the importance of a healthy lifestyle.
Being active and healthy, I guess that's really important. And I think as well they get to spend time with their friends and have a bit of fun.
We love doing it and it gets all the kids up and running.
Students are required to run up to half an hour on the oval.
They take it as seriously or as fun as they like. So we have some kids who run the whole time and can run up to 20 laps, and then kids who walk laps, and yesterday they were dancing and walking around having a great time with their friends.
I was a bit nervous at the start, but then I got there, yeah.
And there's still time to donate, with the fundraiser not finished just yet.
I haven't finished raising money yet, but at the moment quite a bit. Yeah, I'm the same as her.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. 3 Whyalla footy clubs to mark their centenary this weekend. And we'll have the long weekend weather details with Britt. Hello again. The Copper Coast's very own Alex Larwood will be one of 6 Australian teenagers representing the nation in this year's Motocross World Championships. Alex is set to face off against some of the best riders in his age group from across the globe in Italy this July.
Alex Larwood representing Australia on the world stage. The 15-year-old from the YP being one of 6 Aussies heading to Italy for the World Junior Motocross Championships.
I'm racing up against the best people in my age group in the world, and hopefully I can come out there with a good result.
A love for motocross racing starting at a young age.
From a young age, my brother got a bike and then I watched him and then I wanted the bike, so then it's just progressed from there.
The young athlete has a dream to make it big. His trip to Europe an opportunity to prove himself against the world's best.
I'd like to go race professionally. I want to start in Australia and then maybe work my way into Europe or America.
Of course, Alex's dream couldn't be a reality without some hours put in by his mum and dad.
It's a family commitment and everyone's involved, and you know, it's 100% get behind him and hopefully he can do well.
And they'll be packing a little heavier than your average trip abroad.
Sometimes we take a whole engine with us.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Football leagues from around the EP are getting ready to battle it out in this weekend's Mortlock Shield, the annual competition known for being one of the longest running country football championships in Australia. Reigning champions EP Sharks along with the Far North League won't be competing due to a reshuffle of teams. The competition will also be hosting its first women's match, which kicks off the 3-day event tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, 3 Whyalla football clubs are gearing up to celebrate 100 years this weekend. The North Whyalla president says the anniversary is about commemorating players and volunteers both past and present.
Kicking goals for 100 years, morale in Whyalla's Football League is high.
We were founded in 1919, so we've got past players, members, volunteers all coming back to the club.
And North Whyalla members are looking forward to a busy weekend.
My highlight would be the game, obviously. I just think the group of guys that I've got to work with the last 4 or 5 months, I'm just really excited to see them.
About 400 people coming back to the club. With some big names like Barry and Rodney Robert Shirley.
Commemorating those who served the club over the years.
In the early days, around the 40s and 50s, that played a couple of games and won 3-peat premierships.
And South Whyalla will also be celebrating an array of events, including a formal dinner.
Which sold out a little while ago. It's quite exciting. We'll be naming our team of the century.
North Whyalla, South Whyalla and Central Whyalla are welcoming the public to come and celebrate their milestones, and all 3 leagues will be playing in matches tomorrow.
It's more than welcome to come down. We have a lot of travellers from years gone by, people who haven't seen each other for a long time.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
And to preview this weekend's Whyalla footy fixtures, here's Damien Judd with his tips.
Big weekend of Whyalla football coming up. 3 of the 6 clubs are celebrating 100 years. 2 of those 3 are going to play each other tomorrow at Bennett Oval. It's South Whyalla and Central Whyalla. Should be a massive crowd. Sadly, South have been in horrible form and Central should win this one easily. The other team with 100 years is North Whyalla. They're playing rival West Whyalla at Memorial Oval. West are undefeated, but I think North on their big day will sneak across the line for a win. And finally, the 2 clubs with no birthday to celebrate this year, it's Rapina versus Runa Bay. They play tonight. This will be close, but the Bays will win.
Now time to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, John, and good evening. We've had another frosty start at Whyalla and Port Pirie before warming to a mostly sunny day. Port Augusta with a top of 18 today, Whyalla, Port Lincoln and Port Pirie all 17, Adelaide 16, Broken Hill 15 degrees. Looking to the satellite now, and we can see that the high over the Bight has reached Victoria today, continuing its journey east. Moving ahead into the weekend, a trough of low pressure will come our way on Sunday before sliding to the southeast. On the waters tomorrow, northerly winds at up to 20 knots with seas at 1 metre and sunrise is just before 20 past 7. We'll see mostly fine conditions tomorrow with maximums hovering in the mid to late teens. Broken Hill slightly warmer than it has been this week, looking at a top of 20 degrees. Port Augusta 19, Whyalla, Woodner and Port Pirie 18, Corn and Cleve 17, Port Lincoln, Coffin Bay, Kadina and Adelaide 16, Clare 14. Looking ahead to Sunday now, with wind and rain expected at Port Lincoln, windy conditions expected into next week as well. Cleve and Woodner both looking cloudy on Sunday with possible evening showers ahead of a sunny start to the new week. Whyalla and Port Augusta both expecting cloud cover on Sunday, a sunny day Monday, fine on Tuesday, Kadina with strong winds on Sunday. Port Pirie 19 with a possible evening shower on Sunday, mostly sunny into the new week. Clare cloudy on Sunday with sun on the way. And Broken Hill looking mostly fine on Sunday with a top of 19. And John, that's the weekend weather.
Thanks, Britt. Have a great weekend yourself. And that's the local news for tonight and the week. Louise Hedger will be back in the chair on Tuesday with your local news. I'm John Hunt. Thanks so much for your company. I'll have some updates later on in the evening, but until then, enjoy your evening's viewing here on 7. On behalf of the team, have a great long weekend. Good night.